Morgan, you're on mute. Sorry.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. Some people had messaged me and said they were going to hop on a bit late, and then I'll get going. This is going to be recorded, so if you have to go at any time, you all will get a replay link. Every user will. This is one of the benefits of being a T.O.M user. You get the training. This starting now will be bi-weekly. Every training will be a different topic on marketing. It may relate to T.O.M or it may not. So if you know any other business owners that could benefit, please always forward the invites to them. The more people we get on here, the better. Obviously that's great for everyone, and it also shows value for you guys too. So feel free to forward the trainings to any other business owners you know. Like I said, these are all recorded. You'll get replay links after, but there will be a live Q&A at the end, and I will try and keep these all under 30 minutes. We're all busy business owners, and it's Thursday night, so won't take up too much of your time, but I just want every 2 weeks to share a topic that I think is important, and hopefully give you guys some ideas, get your juices flowing. Everyone mute your audio, please mute your mics. Get your juices flowing, and then after that, if something sparks an idea, anything that you've got after this, always feel free to schedule a one-on-one with me and we can make something happen. So I am going to jump right into it right now, guys, and then we'll do some questions, and this is kind of how it's going to go every 2 weeks. So thanks for being here on your Thursday night. Let's get started. So I call your database your data bank, and here is why. Let's get into it. So I believe that your database of contacts is the most important part of your entire business. And I want to explain to you why that is. It's more important than your brick and mortar location, how you generate leads. At the end of the day, the money is in your list. And we're going to go over some reasons why. And then we're also going to dive into a few ideas on how you can grow your list. So that should be exciting for you guys. So who is in your data bank? This is very important because I see it all the time. People, when they start using T.O.M, and I talk about T.O.M on here, but this is for anybody that owns a business, that is in sales, that may have a side hustle, whatever it may be, that has a database of contacts. They're always thinking customers, past clients, leads. That's not the case. And I want to make that very clear. So of course on here, we do have your past customers, your prospects and leads. Those are crucial, right? That's a huge part of your database, but it goes so much deeper than that. When you meet people networking, they need to go into your database. How many times have you been to a networking event or visited a BNI or gone somewhere to network, and then you leave and you don't do anything with those connections you just made? That's a lot of wasted time and energy. So make networking work for you and put those people into your database. Industry partners. I mean, I was in real estate and I look back and I didn't have something like this. Like I would have loved to keep all of the electricians, general contractors. I didn't have a BNI back then, so that I didn't have that option. But if I would have kept all those people in my system somewhere, anytime a client had a need, I could have sent out a blast and got their job done right away, and that's incredibly valuable to my clients. So industry partners. Here's one that I really don't talk about enough, and I want to, and I want to stress this. What I call everyday engagement. So I'm a very friendly person, and I used to travel a lot. I would travel probably every 4 to 6 weeks, just for weekend trips to see my dad, whatever. And I would make friends at the bar at the airport with my laptop, people sitting next to me on the plane. And I met so many business owners in the past few years, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what could be if I had all of those people's information stored somewhere, right? So every single day when you're in business, there's a way for you to connect with people. And when we're adults, that's really the natural progression of a conversation. What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living, right? So when those things come up, at the end of the conversation, if you just ask, I call it the 10 magic words. Do you mind if I stay in contact with you? They say yes. Okay, put them in your system. And I'm not saying they're going to do business with you, but someone they know might need to do business with you. You just never know what that sphere of influence can do. And then, of course, there is your sphere of influence, your family, friends, neighbors. Like when I was a brand new agent in real estate, that's what they hounded you with, right? Get those people in there. But I think that's any industry. Any industry, you need to be contacting those people too, because maybe you change career paths. Maybe your friends, family member, friends, neighbors don't know what you do anymore. Just stay in front of them. And that's the beautiful thing about a system like T.O.M and the way we design this platform. You're not being salesy and pushy. So because of that and the content and the way that you're coming across, you can feel comfortable talking to anybody, as opposed to just a prospect or lead. And then of course you want to get referrals in your data bank, right? All right. Now we're going to get into the reasons of why your data bank is so important and what you can do with it. So secret number one, and this should be pretty obvious, you can sell more stuff. You've already taken the time to build the trusted relationship with the contacts in your database. So bring them back to you to buy more often if they've already bought from you. Obviously, the sales process is cut by more than half. You guys are smart. You know the statistics. So sell more stuff, repeat business. Furthermore, maybe down the line, you introduce a new product or a new service that you offer, or we'll get into this in a minute, but you offer something else that you can make money off of. You spent the time and the money to generate that lead, to cultivate that business. So stay in front of them, and then they will give you more money. This is so important because then you don't have to discount your product. You don't have to go on Groupon and offer 50% off your service or whatever it may be to generate new business. You've already spent the time and energy and money doing that. So sell more stuff to those people. Secret number two is to sell other stuff. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard of affiliate programs by now, right? That's not really new these days. There's affiliate programs galore. If you're in B2B, and I'm going to use a lot of examples on this training, guys, and based on the people that were able to attend live, I'm going to try and relate the examples to their business. But everything I share tonight can work in any industry, right? So affiliate programs, if you're B2B and you help people build their LinkedIn profiles, you've built their trust, they think you're credible, they listen to you now, right? So join an affiliate program like ClickFunnels or different software platforms where you can then push those services to them. They're going to go for it because they believe you're credible. And now you're getting paid on that too. So you're getting paid on services you don't even have to render. That's an affiliate program. Have you guys heard of white labeling? You can white label anything. I mean, I didn't know this until last year because I have a client that does white label. There's a white label convention in Vegas where people who set up their booths, there's thousands of booths just at that convention. So depending on what industry you're in, and we'll get into this, like a chiropractor, for example, could white label a pain roll-on, a CBD pain roll-on with their information, their brand, and it looks like their product, sell that in their store. So now when people are coming in to get adjustments, now they're buying a product and you're generating more revenue. So again, you've built these relationships, sell other stuff. Once you've got the first dollar in from them, try and figure out what else you can do to generate revenue. If you're in home services and you finish garage floors, you can start selling packages to clean it. Maybe subscriptions, every 3 months, come in and do a big power wash and clean it. And you could contract that out, but now you're making money on that on a subscription level every 3 months. Secret number 3, events. I do not talk about this with my clients until they really get into training and working with me, because this is a big one, and it does cost business owners a lot more money than anything else. But I personally believe this has the highest ROI of anything in the world you can do, higher than Google, social media, anything in the world, because it is based on personal relationships, right? So the beautiful thing about events is you're live face-to-face in person. And then most people that attend events, what do they usually do? They usually bring a guest, a +1. And obviously you're going to encourage your invitees to bring as many people as you can, because every person that they bring is now a new contact that you can add to your data bank. And I want to talk about this for a bit here, because I think people hear this, and you'll see some of my examples down here, like open house. Again, I was in real estate. So, when I would have a closing with a client, and I did not do this until the very end of my career, and it exploded my business because I didn't have a system like Tom. So there was no point to me because I wasn't keeping track of the data. But I would partner up with either my lender that closed on them or someone, and we would do a joint open house. We'd pay for all the food, pizza, booze, whatever it was. And they would invite all their friends from whether their neighborhood, their friends and family. So I got to walk around for an hour. I wouldn't stay the whole time. I would just say, I'm going to set up this party for you, shake hands with everyone, and meet these people. So now I'm meeting face to face. They're putting a face to the name of who sold them this house. So that's a huge way to generate new referrals, new leads, but it's so personal. And I promise you, no one out there is in your industry is doing this. I mean, it's so rare because it does cost money, but like I said, the ROI is insane. So again, I'm going to take a minute here because I don't want you to think open house real estate. Okay, that's it. No, this works in any industry. You can invite your database to Topgolf, to bowling. And when I say housewarming party, it doesn't have to be because you sold them a house. You could be in any industry in the world and say, hey, do you want to host a party for your friend's family? Do you want to host a block party? How about this? I'll pay for all the food, this, that, whatever. People love that. They love a reason to get together. They love a reason to celebrate. And if you're supplying the party, guess what? They're supplying the guests. You can walk around, shake hands, and you don't have to be there the whole time, but it's a great way to get in front of people and build relationships. So yeah, Topgolf, you could say bring your friends, what have you. And for each person you bring, I'll enter you into my raffle. You can host a raffle. These are all ideas. Open house, I just mentioned this with you actually, Joe, if you're still on here. For a chiropractor, maybe a chiropractor hasn't seen some of their patients in years and they want to drive back those patients back through their doors. They've got a brick and mortar space that they're paying big money for. Why not put it to use? Host an open house on a Saturday or Sunday and bring like a cotton candy machine, make it fun so the kids want to come. Have a masseuse on standby doing 5-minute shoulder massages, right? Do free adjustments in the back, have some snacks, have music, have a DJ, whatever. Make it a party, and I promise you they're not going to go to another chiropractor after that. Not to mention all the friends and neighbors they want to bring along with them for something to do on a Saturday afternoon. Those are all now people that you can communicate with and build relationships with. So events is one of the best ways to utilize your database. And again, this doesn't have to be people you've done business with. So having a database full of people, you can invite anyone you come in contact with to these events. Of course, if it's in person, it needs to be local. That's really the only qualifier, right? But they don't have to have done business with you. We're people. We like to be out on social. Why do you think, things like networking events exist? Because people like to do this stuff. So give them the opportunity and you're hosting it. It's all in your control. That's honestly one of my favorite things. Number 4, joint ventures. And you'll see that big light bulb flashing there because if you are on this training or you're watching the replay, that means you are a part of the T.O.M community. Or not. This is not just going out to clients for now. This is going out to people that just want to learn. But having T.O.M in place absolutely helps you implement all of these secrets, right? So joint ventures, that's what I call, you can call it whatever you want, but it's basically where you're teaming up with someone else in business and you're monetizing or capitalizing off both of your lists, right? And this only works if you've got value to bring to the table too. So once again, that is why it's so important to build your list, because then you have something to offer someone else to go into a joint venture with. So just like selling other stuff, you can create joint ventures to widen your net and capitalize off of other people's lists, but only if you have one to offer as well. Let's look at a few examples. So I kind of mentioned this earlier, a chiropractor and maybe a CBD white label company. The CBD white label company wants to sell more of their products. So the chiropractor could maybe host a webinar and have to all of their patients and say, I've got some really cool information from this industry leader on CBD pain roll-on and what the benefits are and why this is so great and why you should all use it. So now they're bringing value to their patients that they could not have done on their own because they wouldn't look like the expert in that field. And now the owner of the CBD white label product is also able to capitalize off this because they're selling their products to now the chiropractor's patients. And it's a win-win. And more than anything, the patients are thrilled that this chiropractor is looking out for them in all aspects, right? Window coverings. I have a client that does window coverings. Well, they work with realtors a lot. So maybe when the window covering person finishes a job, they could ask the realtors that they work with to, go half on the food and supplies for an open house party. That way they can both walk around and network. Now they're splitting the costs and they're working the same pool of people. A photographer and a loan officer. Maybe a loan officer could blast to all of their past clients and say, hey, I'm doing, happy hour and headshots. You get 5 minutes with headshots and I'm hosting it all and you get one free drink. Now the photographer is getting their name out in front of all these people. And hopefully that those people like their headshots so much, they want to hire her or pay her to do extra touch-ups, this, that, the other. And the loan officer is providing value, getting to network and tell them, bring all of your business owner friends to get their headshot done. Now they're meeting people organically that they would have never met otherwise. So do you see how this works? There's so many different ways. You don't have to be in the same industry. You don't have to think necessarily, do we have the same prospects? Because that doesn't matter. It's all about people and relationships. And you can find a way to do a joint venture with anyone. And the reason that I have the light bulb flashing here is because if you're on this call or you're using Tom, you've got people in your community already to start thinking about these things with. So a lot of you guys are in BNI networking groups. So now that you have this idea, I've planted a seed, start thinking about it and start mulling it over about how you can use this in your business, because it's huge. That being said, I hope you see even more why it's so important to build your list. If you have that value, you'll feel so much more confident going to someone else and saying, hey, what do you think about doing this together? You know, let's split the cost or whatever it may be, or let's put this webinar on together, but you've got your list, I've got mine. Let's join forces, right? So building your list gives you something of value to offer too, so that more people would like to do joint ventures with you. So what is your business worth? And I ask people this all the time, and some people think I'm crazy, but are you self-employed or did you just create a job for yourself? And what that means is a lot of people say that they're a business owner, and they love to say that. And I would say the number one reason anybody becomes a business owner and leaves the 9-to-5 or corporate America is for the freedom, right? But what I find 9 times out of 10 is that all that person actually did was just create another job for themselves. And what that means is that if they were to step away, or if they were, you know, to go on a 1-month hiatus vacation, their business would probably fall apart. And there's nothing against you if that's how your business runs, because that was me in real estate, and that's most people, because, you know, it's your business, it's your baby. But all that means is that you do have another job. You're beholden to that, and you are still like on a ball and chain to your business now. So yeah, you may be your own boss, but more often than not, I find you actually work harder and more strenuous hours because you don't want to let your clients or your customers down. So you've just created a tougher job for yourself than you had when you were working a real job. You can only have a true business if it can be valued and sold. If you watch Shark Tank, you know, they talk about valuation this, valuation that, meaning what could I buy or sell your business for? So this all comes down to, what's the theme of the night? Your list. People call this your book of business, and that is exactly what gives your business value. If you don't have a book of business, you're worth nothing. I mean, if it's just you, like I said, if you wanted to retire, your business would be worth nothing. So here's the kicker, and here's what I hope you guys take out of tonight. Your list is only worth something if you have a relationship with the people on the list. I'll give you a great example. I had a client last week that said, you know, I'm so mad at myself looking at your platform. I wish I was using something like this, because she's getting ready to retire. She's an insurance agent, and she is selling, I guess, selling her book of business to the agency owner. And she said, I already know like half of the people are probably just going to be pissed. They're going to walk away and all that. And I said, that should not be the case. And here's why. If you've been servicing these people for, you know, however many years, or you have 500 clients, if you built a relationship with them, their trust in you is inherent. And then by proxy, she can give that trust and pass it on to the next person. Most people, I mean, there's always going to be natural attrition, right? Like people are going to say, oh, this was our person. If she's leaving, we're going to look somewhere else, right? That's natural. But the majority of the people are not going to want to go on Google and read reviews and call their friends. Who do you recommend? If they have trusted and built this relationship with this agent for so many years, just her statement and just her third party, you know, recommendation that this new agent taking over is going to be great should be enough to keep 90, if not 95% of that business. So that's a perfect example. Although she can sell that book of business because of the industry, it's not worth as much if there aren't relationships. So how do you build relationships with your data bank? You stay top of mind in a friendly way by communicating frequently, consistently, persistently. You speak to your contacts appropriately for who they are. And all that means is kind of what we talked about right at the beginning, is you segment your database. You're not talking to the person you met at Starbucks this morning the same way you're talking to a client that just, you know, handed over a check for $5,000 to service their home. You speak to everybody in appropriate ways, and that's why Tom segments your database, and you have different campaigns, so that you can do that efficiently, right? And then provide value. That's the number one way to build relationships, is provide value. And I want to make something extremely clear here. That does not mean offer discounts, give promotions, save them money. That's all great and fine, and it can come, there's a time and place for that. But you should have such a strong affinity with your contacts that you don't have to discount your services because they want to pay you what you're worth. So providing value can be something as simple as sending a knock knock joke. And I know that seems silly, but if you guys are seeing that this does work, people are inundated with so much other stuff that simply putting a smile on someone's face is providing value. Furthermore, what we just talked about, those joint ventures, think about the people that you could do a joint venture with, that there's someone else that's in a different industry or has more knowledge about something than you do. And you can bring that to your database and provide that for free because you made a relationship and built a joint venture. That right there is incredible value. The events, if you're offering a night out at Topgolf and telling them to bring a friend and their first drink is on you, that is huge value. I mean, people love that stuff, right? And it's expensive, and I get that, but you can make it work. Pizza and a few pizzas and some drinks at a house party is very inexpensive. And like I said, the ROI is huge, but that is all incredibly value. So everything I shared with you tonight also provides value to your contacts. So don't ever think I'm contacting them too much, I'm bugging them. Just think of it and reframe your mindset that you are providing value to these people, even if it is as simple as a smile on their face. And that will naturally build relationships, build the trust, and then that all in turn comes with money, referrals, repeat business, all the good stuff we talked about in the beginning. So you guys are all doing that if you're using your T.O.M system correctly. Keep up the good work. I'm happy that you're here on the training. If you're watching the replay, thanks for taking the time. Like I said, I'll always try and keep these somewhat short as we're all busy. And that way it's not too much to take in. Let me get on here and just say goodbye to you guys. But we've got about 10 minutes, 8 minutes if you guys have any questions. And now that your juices are flowing, if you have any ideas, I'd love to hear them. And if not, questions are open. Make sure to unmute your mic if you want to ask a question. Thoughts, comments, anything? No?
I don't have anything, Morgan.
Okay, well, I like I said, I appreciate you guys taking the time to be here live. You'll get the replay link anyway, just like everybody else. And more than anything, I hope your guys' juices are flowing. So schedule a call with me if you want to go in more in depth about your business, what we can create for you guys for a value proposition to do joint ventures, anything like that. We can get really into the nitty gritty about your industry and your specific business. But I hope you got some value out of tonight. Shoot me an email, a text with some feedback. I'd love to hear it. And it was great to see you guys. And like I said, training's going to be bi-weekly now. So as long as you're a T.O.M user, you'll be getting these notifications and you'll be notified about training. So thank you guys so much. And I will talk to all of you guys shortly. Okay.